I used to think if I had the right answer, the right data, the right logic, I'd be heard. What I wish I knew earlier is that influence doesn't start with what you know. It starts with what they care about. Stay right where you are. I'll tell you more. Welcome to How to Get What You Want. This podcast is for driven women ready to claim their goals and navigate their careers with clarity and confidence. Join me as we explore real stories, tools, and strategies to help you steer your career exactly where you want to go. Let's get started on helping you get what you want. Hey, welcome. I'm Susie. I'm so glad you made the choice to be here today. We're continuing our series in talking about raise. Raise your hand, R-A-I-S-E. If you missed it, I covered R, recognize, the last time. And today we're going to talk about A because we go in order. We know how to spell. A is about aligning. It's about aligning. It happens after you recognize that moment because what I learned the hard way is you can speak up, but you're not heard unless you speak from their perspective. Before we jump in, I want to remind you that I have the Career Level Up. I have 2 cohorts this year. It's all about like-minded professionals getting together on a monthly basis. It's not a huge commitment, but it goes through really the essentials of what you need to know in your career that they don't teach you in your everyday life. So if you want to be a part of one of the cohorts, reach out to me. You can go to the website, you can go to negotiationlove.com. I'd love to learn about you and help to invest to make you accelerate in your career. So let's jump in. Let's talk about align because it is so important. It happens enough times that people, when somebody else is not aligned with you, they might be silent. It's all about this silence. And when we don't understand it from their perspective, we're not allowing them to feel the connection. That's huge. Everybody wants to do business with, whether you're a vendor or a colleague, with people you know, like, and trust. And making that connection is so important. People miss it not because of a lack of confidence, but because they don't know how to bridge the gap. That's why it's so important to really align to the interests of the person on the other side. Being right is not always the same thing as being influential. And even understanding what's important to the room and aligning to that can make your voice heard. Picking your moments can be so important because when you align to what is going on in those moments, it doesn't just evaporate your points, your ideas, your data. We naturally see situations from our own lens. Of course we do. It's how we feel. It's how we look at it. It's what we worry about, especially when stakes are high. And then we have those emotions that we have to deal with as well. There's a lot going on up here. But negotiation and leadership research on this is powerful. Do you know that Harvard talks about in a negotiation, if the party that considers the interests of the other party, the other person, just for 30 seconds, has meaningful, better results, outcomes. They have better outcomes than when they focus on their own. Just think about that. Just for 30 seconds, going into their seat. It's not manipulation. It's respectful. It's saying, I see what you're accounting for. I want to meet you there. You might not even tell them that, but you might pick their word. I pick the words that are familiar. Mirroring is a big thing in negotiation. So making people feel comfortable. If they feel like you've looked at it from their perspective, that's really powerful. I learned this lesson from a really difficult moment in my career. So difficult that I can feel the emotions when I retell it. A friend of mine, and I really got along with him. Him and I would go chat over wine, and we knew each other for a long time. His name is Jeff Mazurk. He's still in the telecom industry. Big job now. He used to work at E! Entertainment. We were friends, but we also were colleagues. And we had a meeting that was set. And I just thought we were catching up. Like I didn't really think that much of it. I didn't think about his interests. We got on the phone and Jeff wanted answers. And I'll tell you, he is from, I think, Nebraska, and just like even keeled, like what you might think of, just kind of sitting back, like farm guy. He was always really even keeled. To this day, that was the only time I saw him kind of lose it. He was so mad at me. He like ripped me. He was so angry that I didn't have what he wanted. He was so frustrated, and it completely silenced me because I was shocked. Surprise is that emotion that really makes us retreat the most. And because I didn't think about his interest, if I had even thought, oh, Jeff's expecting answers, even if I didn't have the answers, at least I wouldn't have been shocked by his response. I would have been able to at least like stand and be able to calm him down. But instead, I just stayed in silence, which just made him madder and madder. I wasn't prepared. Oh my gosh, I'll never forget that. I was only seeing the meeting from my perspective. And the worst part is I had another colleague on with me, and he was silent too because he didn't have the relationship with Jeff. And I think I had told him how amazing Jeff is. He still is amazing. I really respect him a lot. But had I just taken 30 seconds to go, all right, let me think about what Jeff wants, made a huge difference. So I wish I would have known that even if you don't have the answers, alignment gives you footing. It helps you go, okay, this is what we need to do next. I see you're getting frustrated. I see you're surprised. I didn't realize I even apologizing in that moment would have been better than silence. When people don't align to the other side's interests, one of two things happens. They over-explain and they totally miss it because they're not even reading the room, or they shut down because they don't understand what's going on. Both create silence. It might cause you to be silent. Silence isn't always good when you're presenting to somebody else. Silence could be, I've already checked out. I don't care about you because you didn't even understand what I was looking for. So silence in them is not always good. Silence might be an indicator that you might think, oh, they're just not speaking because they're listening. Maybe they're not speaking for other reasons. So aligning to their interests is so important. It builds a bridge. When you frame the message in their language, you don't sound pushy. You don't sound defensive. You sound strategic. They don't think, oh my gosh, they're trying to manipulate me because they're looking at it from my perspective. They feel like, oh, this is familiar. They get me. This is really nice. So they listen. They buy in, they lean in. So think about this. I want this practical tool for you is, can you just insert 30 seconds before maybe even every high stakes meeting that you're moving into? Maybe it's like, oh, I don't feel that comfortable about this. Let me just take a few minutes to think about the 5 people in the room and what's important to them. Maybe it's recognition. Maybe it's they are an introvert and they want to be called on. Think about what they need in the room, not necessarily what their role needs. What does that individual need? What do they care about right now? What outcomes are they expecting? What are they accountable for? What may feel risky to them about making the decision? That's it. Just identify a perspective of the other side. Even if you're not right, at least you have a foundation of where you might think their head is. Alignment isn't about what you say yet. It's about what you think before you speak. And here's what I wish I knew earlier. Influence isn't built by talking more. It's about seeing more. It's about understanding that. So that alignment, being able to see that, when you get that habit going and you start doing that on a regular basis, you have more empathy. It allows you to do it in real time. In the moment, you can go, oh, that's really interesting. I hadn't thought about that. Tell me more about your interest. Silence stops feeling like safety and starts feeling like a missed opportunity. You start to see that because you start to understand that people want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to be understood. So that's your mission. And your mission is simple. Just before any conversation, just take 30 seconds. Think about what's important to them. What is the outcome for the meeting? what's important to them. Think about it from their perspective. Anticipate their pressure. Think about what might be in their head. Meet them where they are. Even if it's like, you know what, they just want to have connection first. Let me take a few minutes at the beginning just to see how they're doing. So it's really important. First, it's recognize the moment, but then it's aligning. It's getting your head to think about it from their perspective. It's not manipulation. It's just sitting in their seat for a minute. The next episode, we're going to go on to I, R.A.I.S E. That's about inserting the value. It's creating momentum. It's inserting that so that you can make impact in the moment. Your perspective is more valuable than you think. Silence is sabotage because we think people know where we won't want to go. But when you sit in silence, they think you're satisfied. So I want you to really think about, how do you align to them so that they understand you too? This is so important. So many people miss this, and I certainly missed this when I was coming up. I always thought it was most important for people to hear what I had to say. I had to think about what the agenda is, how I was going to frame my position. But even in negotiations, they talk about positioning is really important, but interests is more important than positioning, because that's really the core of what motivates people to do what you need them to do. I'm excited about this series because I think it's so important. So I'm glad that you made the choice to invest in the future self and really take the challenges that come in these episodes. Just take them little by little. If you know somebody that needs to hear this to insert value, maybe they haven't inserted not value, but really saw it from a different perspective, maybe somebody that works for you, share this with them. It's really important as leaders that we think about others, what's important to them. And so sharing this can show that you've thought for 30 seconds about somebody that could really use this. I'm so glad you were here. It's so important to adopt a negotiator mindset because we're able to unlock another degree of understanding, but also optics in the world around us. Negotiation is not just for negotiators. It's also for you. See you next time. I'm Susie. I'm glad you were here.